Hello and welcome to the bi-weekly meeting podcast for the OWASP Top 10 for Large Language Model Applications. If you'd like to stay up to date with our project, please click subscribe. And if you enjoy the content or have any questions, please feel free to comment and share. Now, on to our meeting.
Let's go ahead and get going here. So the couple things that we've got a lot of content to kind of work through, so I want to take a chance to kind of go through that today. Steve wanted me to make sure that I highlighted to get in your draft vulnerabilities. So everybody who's kind of working on their draft vulnerabilities right now, let's get them in, just as a reminder. I know we're trying to get that wrapped up here. So that's a key point that he was looking at coming out of the session, to get everyone up to speed on that. So get those in.
Scott, Scott, I was going to say, I really like the direction that Steve's going with it. A couple that I've been thinking about is really the third party. Like if we look at it from our original perspective, you know, like where my head is at is like, okay, what about LinkedIn adding AI to everything? How does that impact my organization? Canva, you know, but as I try to wrestle through that, it didn't seem like it was unique. It wasn't that much different than the existing one. So I just wanted to say that I really appreciate the direction Steve's taking it, and I'm definitely thinking about it.
Great. Anyone else have any more comments before I go to ads to kind of give us an update on the roadmap stuff?
I think maybe more of a question from myself. Hey, it's Andy here.
Andy,
is there, and apologies, it may be a dumb question. Is there a document that kind of describes a bit more around, okay, how do we get those vulnerabilities in? I mean, is it essentially the same process as we had for V1 of submitting the pull requests on the GitHub? Are we looking for completely new vulnerabilities at this point, or is it updates to the existing ones and so on? And I'll have an apologies for kind of being out the loop a little bit on some of this.
No, that's fine. Since we have ads on, we'll have ads maybe talk to that once we.
Hey man, yeah, so we know all the information you're looking for should be, and I strongly believe is in like the genesis of V2, but it's also in the wiki. It's a TLDR to your answer. Doesn't have to be new vulnerabilities specifically, i.e. if you think like two could be merged together, which was one of my suggestions, so we make like additional room for other vulnerabilities. If you're saying you think enhancement or updates to like a current vulnerability, then I'd do that for a GitHub issue. But everything like new or like merging or anything that's like changing, I guess anything that reflects like an actual definition change would be a PR. We have like 8 in the repo or something right now. That have been something in the past week that I've merged in. I saw a thumbs up, but I don't know who it's from. So does that answer the question, Andy?
Yeah, I think it does. Yeah, I'll get to RTFM. That should answer quite a few of the questions, and just an understanding of the process. And yeah, if I end up submitting something as a PR that should be an issue instead, then yeah, please just reject it, and yeah, we'll just crack on.
Yeah, man, all good. So also just to let you know that there is, what was I going to say? Damn it. Oh, sorry, yeah, I was just going to say the only thing that's different in this compared to what we did last time is we're going to be better with data gathering to actually produce another, like a potential new top 10. So the format in a TLDR is pretty much the same.
Gotcha. All right, awesome, thank you.
No, thank you. Scott, can I do my slide in 2 seconds? Because I just have to go and grab something. 1 second.
Yep, that's just fine. I'll skip.
Thanks. Or skip me and come back.
Yeah. So just wanted to then do a recap for RSA. So we had a good, I would say, beyond good attendance at RSA. We ended up with, as I said here, about 400 registered attendees. So that's when they tag their schedule and say, yeah, we want to go to this. We had pretty much standing room when we started off, and it stayed a full room for the whole day. So I want to appreciate everybody who contributed to that, Aubrey and the panel and Steve, of course, and everybody. So it was a good session. I don't know if anybody wants to have any more comments on that. I want to also thank Layer Up for sponsoring the happy hour on Tuesday. I think Steve's session on Monday and what went well as well. So I don't know if anybody who was there wants to comment.
It was magical. It really was,
magical.
honestly. I mean, like looking at the room the whole day, it just blew my mind. Kind of just seeing, oh my gosh, this is a hot topic. People couldn't get in the room. A couple people had to kind of jump back out. I loved it, and even seeing everything still strong at the end with the red team panel was like, oh, we packed the whole room for the whole day.
Yeah,
Bravo to you too, Scott. Bravo.
Thanks. Yeah, it was really great. It's really great to see everybody.
Yeah, if I may introduce myself, my name is Jonathan. I was there for the first time and saw the group, and I just want to comment on how accessible it was and got me motivated to get more involved too. So I want to thank you all for that. And I've now followed the little rabbit hole, and here I am. So I'm kind of fly on the wall for this, but I just want to thank you and compliment you for a really well presented morning.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate it. Yeah. Yeah, it was a great team effort. And so we're going to keep that kind of vibe going as we go forward, because I think there's a lot of other things first to kind of help communicate out on this. And so I'm looking forward to continuing to work with the team and getting that done. So I see ads. Did you have anything you want to add to this topic, or do you want to jump onto your?
I can jump on. Thanks, Jonathan. That's very kind of you, and it's actually nice to hear because I was very rushed. So I'm glad to know it wasn't that bad. No, it was good fun. It was very nice to meet everyone after like doing this for like the past 14 months or whatever it's been. So it was good fun.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. Sorry, I'm ready. I'm back now. There was just a few notes from myself. I don't know what slide it is.
Okay. Is it later on? Is it later on down during the leads?
Sorry. Yeah, it might be. Yeah.
Probably so the only thing I have here is just the roadmap reminder. So everybody's aware of kind of the roadmap, and this is obviously as you're driving the roadmap and schedule on this stuff. So making sure we're getting all of the entries in and moving through the process here. So this is just a reminder slide for the V2. So if you wanted to comment on the V2 roadmap at all at this point, ads, or hold that to your later slides. You're good. Okay, I see the thumbs up. Awesome. So I'll finish up with RSA. So that was the recap for RSA. All of the content recorded sessions. Thank you, Aubrey, for your Herculean efforts in getting that recorded as we dodged the locals who wanted to charge us an arm and a leg to record stuff. So awesome. And the presentations are also up there on the website. So on our updated website, I'll get to that in a second. We also have some carry on from RSA, and this is part of the what we're hoping to do is continue the conversations out there in the market and in the industry and with the community. So I know Steve is down in LA right now, or was yesterday, talking to the OWASP team down in LA. We've got other events coming up where people are speaking at, so we'll want to keep that going. From RSA, we also have an upcoming, we've been asked by the RSA team to come back to be part of their virtual series. So they're doing a virtual series that they do. They're looking for one seminar that's going to happen on September 5th. That's around an AI security seminar they're going to do, and they've asked Sandy to participate on that, and I'll be participating in that as well. These will continue through the year, so we'll be probably picking and knocking on doors for other people within the team to kind of help contribute to the next round of these. So we're going to kind of keep that rolling. So we're going to keep that rolling. Any questions, last comments on RSA? Okay, moving on.
No, just a thank you for putting it together, Scott. It was awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So let's go to the functional lead reports. So one of the things I want to talk about first is this is a kind of, I think, a new-ish thing that we're doing. So Rachel is leading a new research initiative. So we've been able to get resources from the University of Illinois to help with this research project. She's looking specifically at LLM, comparative analysis and outputs. So she's got a small team working on this, but open for more people to kind of help join the team and dig in. So this is going to be starting to kick off in the next couple of weeks. So we've got the license for the resources from the university, and we'll be doing an announcement about this next week. So this is another way that the project is kind of reaching out to do more even just research-based projects. And these are different kinds of initiatives that we're looking to do kind of going forward. Any questions on, let me go back here, any questions on the initiative? Rachel couldn't be here. She's attending a conference that she'd rather be here, but she's doing the conference instead, she said. So other item I have is, as you know, we have now consolidated all of the website URLs into one revised website. And there's a lot of new content there. The other piece was we've made it so that we can give authorship. So for the core team and for people interested in publishing blogs and resources, this has been built out so that we can give you rights and you can start publishing content on our own. So it kind of democratizes the effort around our website management and content publishing. And so that's ready to go. And that's a new and rolled out. So some of you should have had emails I sent out to you around setting up your accounts. You should make sure you set up your profiles, because as soon as we get all the profiles set up for the core team, I'm going to flip from the list that we have right now of core team members to more of a visual kind of matrix of everybody. So that will do once we have all the profiles updated and ready to go. Anybody have any issues with their logins I sent to, or did I miss anybody? If you feel like you should have had one, then raise your hand and I'll make sure I send that out.
Yeah, could I get one, please? It's Andy here.
Andy, yep.
Nice one. Cheers. Appreciate that.
Yeah, Emmanuel too. I haven't received. Scott, thank you.
Okay, thank you. I will make sure I get one sent off to you as well. Yeah, the whole objective here is to make sure that we've got a site that the community can support, both from a content perspective and from a management perspective. So we've moved everything over to WordPress. So it makes it very easy. So if you're familiar with WordPress publishing, that's great. If you're not familiar with WordPress publishing, we have a dashboard that you can do form-based content submissions for blogs, events, news, and resources, just to make it really easy for people to get content up there. All that then gets formatted in the templates, of course, and it falls into the right categories for our website. So what we have right now, I thought I'd put together this real quick slide, is I often ask, so what are the purposes for this, for all of our content? So we've got really three major landing areas for the community to work together and collaborate. And so when I look at the different pages we have our new websites that we've consolidated. That's really for general and for the industry audiences, people who are not necessarily as familiar with OWASP, and a place for us to kind of communicate out news and details, etc. We've got our OWASP project page, which is for our OWASP community. So if people are already OWASP aware or part of the OWASP community and they're used to going there, that's where that's the audience that we're targeting with that particular site. And then for the collaborators and communicators that are contributors who are part of the actual project, that's what the other two sites kind of bring together. So I just wanted to kind of frame this out because I was getting some questions or like, why do we have so many websites, et cetera? And so this is my attempt to kind of characterize the use for the different sites. Do anybody have any comments on that or thoughts? Does it make sense? Silence said, I got it. Silence says I got it exactly right.
In the chat.
Yeah, the new site
Okay.
looks great, Scott.
Thanks. Yeah, and then all of us can then contribute to more content. It's always good. And the last thing I'll share, and then I'll pass it on out of my bucket. And there's a roadmap that I shared out there. We've got so many activities going on, everything from announcements to our roadmaps of schedules. We have Krishna, who's now picked up the newsletter and is doing that on a regular basis. We've got potential to do webinars. We have access to Zoom through the community. So we have the infrastructure to do outreach and do webinars for education of the community. So we may be looking at doing some of those and scheduling some of those. The main goal here is just to make sure we're capturing the activities so that we can kind of line them up in each of the different areas. So we have that line of sight into what's next. Obviously, one of the ones coming up is Black Hat. And for those of you, I know a lot of you have put in sessions. We won't hear probably till June in terms of what our sessions get accepted. Once we have that, we can start formulating kind of what we want to do there. If you have sessions that you're doing and you want to just send them to me so that we can just kind of start collating that would be great too. Krishna, I think he said he may not be on this call today.
No, I don't think he's with us today.
No. So let's go ahead and talk a little bit about. So we got the May edition. He's got the May edition out. He already got we had a slight link issue earlier. This was earlier in the week when we kind of shifted from the LLM top 10 site was down as we transitioned ownership of the domain over to OWASP. So we were down for about a day and a half while we got it set up, but it's now all redirecting properly. Actually, it's probably about 2.5 days, unfortunately. Once we got all the redirections happening properly, then we're good to go now. And then it looks like he's putting together sort of the June edition. One of the things I had suggested was if we have content ideas, coming back to that schedule, that matrix, if we have content ideas, throw them at him. My comment to him, he had so much content to put out in May. My comment was, how do you have enough for June? So we probably, if we can keep more inputs, more content coming to him, that would be great. Sandy, you said you had volunteered to keep a list and checking it twice. Is that correct?
Right. Just recognizing, as you know, Scott, a lot of times when you take on a specific role within our team, sometimes, you just get handed the whole bucket, and it just is so helpful if someone is there kind of just contributing. And so, I volunteer to just, as we do things, to try and just capture things so it's just not all on Krishna's shoulders.
Yeah, and I think that's a good model for us to kind of want to make sure we're doing all the time for a lot of the different projects, pieces of the project, like you said, because picking up some of these pieces, it's not a small task. And so even like the website as an example, where we can take more of a community approach. We're an open source, we're a community organization, where that should filter through everything we're doing.
Yep, absolutely.
That's awesome. I will let him come back and talk on more points on this, because some of these, let's see, we've got good materials. You guys can read this. So I think he'll come back next week, next meeting, 2 weeks, and then give us a more detailed around his plan, etc. Emmanuel, I will hand it to you.
Sure, sir. Thank you. Good morning, everyone. I joined a bit late. So updates from our data gathering. So we did a call for action to collect data. We are expecting new entries, and the objective here is just to support the entries with real world data. And we created 2 templates, a CSV and a JSON, just to help make sure we have a template and to help us to then filter and analyze the data that we receive. Along with Scott, by the way, great work with the website, Scott. Thank you very much for leading and pushing all the initiatives you're doing out there. So we are working on a blog just to make it easy. People can submit the data on my email, which is on the link there, and also creating a blog where people can just upload and make it easier that submission. And then I'll ask Scott for us to also have a page on our website where all of this information on how to submit, what we're expecting, it's out there too. And then I'll ask everyone's to help to just post and spread the word that we are receiving data, because as much as the word goes out there, and then I'll just give a shout also to Aubrey, wherever we can work out something that we can also post and help people know that we are receiving data. That will be very helpful. And also, Aubrey is doing an amazing job with our socials and everything that he's doing. If you can go to the next slide, please, Scott. So then this is per data set. So we are expecting people to identify themselves, but we also know that some people wants to remain anonymous, so that's okay. And the period of data that we are receiving is from 2020 up to today. So whatever it makes sense. And leading up to this point, we just did some work on the data gathering team, where we mapped some of our top 10 to the different frameworks, and we have quite a bit of frameworks there, like the NIST, MITRE, ATT&CK, SEAS, FAIR, STRIDE, ENISAS, because we know different organizations and different aspects of the organization will present different vulnerabilities. So we just try to be as comprehensive as possible to present information so it is useful. Type of testing, language, like is it Python or whatever that looks like, where that data is coming from, and industry, that all of this information will help support the entry. So our job here in the data gathering will support ads as the V2 leadership, as the voting with the new entries and all of that. So we just want to make sure we back that up. We back up all of the entries that might pop up, because I'm to see what that's going to look like. And then on the next slide, this is just next slide, please, Scott. Yeah, that's the JSON format, where it shows the different frameworks that we mentioned. And on the next slide, it's a little easier to read, which is a CVS. That's right. You can scroll on the link, and then it's gonna just show as columns the different frameworks and just an example. So we have a template where people can use and submit the data, just to make it easier for us to work with it. And just on two different notes, also updating the team. Me and Ads, we're gonna have a talk with OWASP Toronto next month. And Sandy, I'm working on the translation of the checklist for the Brazilian Portuguese version. Also, I saw Rubens is here. Rubens, if you want to work with that with me, just give me a shout. I'm happy to do it. Which I hope to conclude that this week. And yeah,
sure.
So whomever wants to come up on board and help with the data gathering, we are with open arms. So thank you, guys.
Were you guys gonna go to OWASP Toronto?
That is correct, Aubrey. Yeah, next month. If I'm not mistaken, they were going to finalize where the venue is, but possibly it will be on June the 12th.
Oh, okay. Maybe I could meet you guys up there. Hate to invite myself.
Well,
but
that'll be awesome. Yeah, that'll be awesome. And
good to catch it
yeah,
on camera.
Yeah, and yeah, okay, sounds good. Let's keep in touch.
All right, we'll talk offline.
Thank you.
Yeah, and I think that's another point. So if you've got that that you're going to be doing, let's stab it into the spreadsheet just so that we're tracking, where we've got things going on. Because I think that if we can get like just 3 months out in terms of the different activities we're doing, that's going to help Aubrey and everybody as we want to try to communicate more. And that goes for all of the regional activities as well, because this is a global effort and we want to make sure we're representing all of the different groups who are working on this project. So if you're doing an event in Brazil, it would be great to get photos from that or videos from that Aubrey can use to then promote and let people know that there are opportunities for them to engage in the community there.
Yes.
Absolutely. Yeah, we just didn't put on the spreadsheet because it wasn't confirmed, and this one is in Canada. So yeah, and,
Yeah.
and as we saw on Slack, someone showing interest from the Brazilian chapter in southern Brazil. So let's see what comes up.
Yeah, and I would say even if it's not solid, just put it there and say tentative or work in progress, just so that we've got some insights into that. So doesn't have to be confirmed. It just needs to be targeted, something that we think we might do.
Got it. Thank you.
Yep. Okay, Emmanuel, any more items, or is that?
No, yeah, that's it for me. Just
Okay.
questions. I'm here.
Any questions for Emmanuel? I don't see any hands raised. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and move on. Governance checklist. I think this looks like Sandy.
Yes, this is me. I'll be really fast. Sorry, I got pulled into regular work. So so what I've done is I've created a questionnaire. I'm trying to really stage the release of 2.0 of the checklist with the release of 2.0 of the top 10. And so I've created a roadmap. I have a questionnaire that is ready to go out, that I'm asking questions on the checklist, what people found the most helpful, what they'd like to see changed. That'll go out on the 27th. I'll give a little bit of time for people to contribute to it. And then my goal for this year is for me to be more organized on creating meetings and action items for people to contribute and really mirror what we're doing with the top 10. So if you would like to be part of the checklist or you have big ideas, please reach out to me on my channel. And so that I'm trying to distribute more of it and kind of mature the process I use to create the checklist, but also use it. The end goal is this should be in full support of the top 10. So people should be able to take the top 10 and then use the checklist to action on it.
Perfect. Makes sense. So anybody want to join Sandy? I'm sure she would enjoy the support and help
Yes.
as we build these out. Yeah, this is a sustained effort. So as we can do it as a community, the better off we all are. All right.
Just make sure you get me a link to it when it's done. I want to amplify.
Yeah, and I think that I would say I think we've got the roadmap. I'd stab your roadmap into, there's a roadmap track in that spreadsheet. I know I'm going to be a little bit of a pain about that, but I figured let's just have one place to put some of the stuff that we could track. So I put that in there. So if you can just stab in your roadmap, we'll have that for the solutions piece that I'm working on the updated top 10 for 2.0, et cetera. So. And that'll help you, Aubrey, hopefully, so you can get some insight and into what's coming, so that you can work on stuff. So
I got some plans.
All right. Have some plans. We're just getting to that size right now where I think we're having to think about that ugly P word, plan. But I think we're kind of getting to that momentum and pickup that we probably need to do a little bit of that. Okay, looks like it's over to you, Aubrey.
All right. And this is actually a photo of me. It's just a really great cosplay. No, really, I've got just wanted to let everybody know that the last of the 4 videos from RSA should be forthcoming. I would expect it tomorrow. Sorry for the delay. Real work, like Sandy said, like that the day job has just gotten in the way. It's all like the panel, it's all laid out and just ready to get cut up. So I think tomorrow I'll probably have some good time to actually get that cut up, and hopefully it'll be uploaded. The videos are massive too. I mean, like uploading them to YouTube on my little 11 meg per second connection upload, that is brutal. I mean, we're talking, Scott, your video took 8 hours.
Yikes.
So, yeah.
Yeah, and it just any network hiccup in that process, like those never happen.
Cut. Yeah, I ended up, it finally uploaded. I was like, oh, it uploaded, and then it failed to process in YouTube because it had a little network hiccup in the middle. So,
yeah.
So working quickly,
Awesome.
diligently. Yep, it'll be there.
Awesome. Well, and Aubrey, again, thanks for all of your work on all this stuff. This is fabulous.
Of course,
getting all this stuff out. Yeah. And let's see. Ads. I noticed we didn't have another slide for you, but we're coming to the. Was there a couple of items that you needed to cover in addition, or did you get those covered in our previous chat?
He popped off.
Okay, he popped off. Okay. So I guess he had those covered. I think we're good then.
Yep.
All right. So discussion time. So any questions, items we want to discuss? I know we've got lots of action items that people are working on. Are there any things that people need help with specifically that we haven't already articulated in the meeting today? Or items we would need to cover outside that we haven't already talked about?
I don't think so. Great job, Scott. And again, if I don't know how public the website is, but I mean, fantastic job. Unbelievably great job on the new website. I'm so excited about it.
Yes.
Thanks. Yes. And so I am looking for somebody to manage that website ongoing, because it's not exactly where I was focusing, but it is. Yeah, I appreciate the recognition of my hobbyist efforts on doing websites. But yeah, I think we've made it easy so that the person who would be kind of taking this on or just being would just be helping coordinate people at this point, because we've got everything formatted so that if you post stuff, it'll get reformatted and placed in the right location. There's a few backlog items I have, but they're smaller items, but we'll get there. So if you have anybody who wants to volunteer to help with that, I'm looking for more volunteers. I know you're already on the list. So again, it is a community effort. So we have already distributed. There are already people like Aubrey who have parts of the website that they effectively own. So which is sort of the way I wanted to approach it. So yeah. All right. Any other items? Any other outreach people are doing? Any other events where they're going to be talking about top 10? And they need support or help. Okay.
Yep. I'm going to drop, guys. I'm getting pulled away. Have a great week,
Sounds
everyone.
good.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye. So I think that's a wrap. Unless I hear last thing, we're going to go.
Thanks all.
Going.
Thanks for checking out our bi-weekly meeting podcast.
Thanks.
If you'd like to stay up to date on all of the latest
folks.
news for the OWASP Top 10 for large language model applications, please click subscribe. And of course, we'd appreciate it if you'd share with a friend to grow our community. We'll see you in 2 weeks.